Wait a minute. That's not a fly cutter. This is a video about a fly cutter. Baby, have you been into my videos again? So today in the shop, I'm going to be attempting to make a fly cutter. I picked up some 1045 drops from a local machine shop. I've made friends with the guy in there and gotten to be pretty good friends and really nice people. But anyway, I'm going to try my hand at it. And, you know, it was funny. The guy in the shop, he said, "Why are you wanting blanks to make a fly cutter? You know, you can buy them on Amazon for, I don't know, coffee money." And I said, "Yeah, but it's not mine. I didn't make it, you know." And so the one that I'm going to turn out today probably won't be as good as the one I can buy on Amazon. But damn it, I'm going to have a good time making it. So you guys follow along, and maybe you can get some good laughs out of it. And hey, who knows? Maybe somebody will learn something. So on my crude drawings here, what I've got, I'm just going to use my 7/8 inch tool holder. That way I have to remove less material. And I'm going to make the shank 1 inch long. I'll have a little bit exposed there. And then I'm going to make the wide diameter down here 1 inch. This is going to be a small tool. As you can see, what I'm starting off with, this will be my first one. I'm sure I'll make some more. But it's just these little 1/4 inch carbide holders. So if I get this much more than 1 inch, this guy's going to be buried up inside there and won't even go all the way through. So just to keep it simple, I'm just going to make it 1 inch down here on the wide side. Even though this is a really big piece of metal for my machine, it's definitely going to need some tail support. So I'm going to bring this guy in here and get me a center cut into it, and then I'll give it a little support while I'm cutting on it. Let's see if that gets us a little more stable there. I'm going to back that guy up a little bit so I got some room for the carriage. So I've actually got this guy taking 10,000 steps of cut out of this guy. He's doing really good. So 10,000 steps is taking 20 off of the diameter. I could not be more pleased with that. I'm sure I'm cutting a little bit of a taper though. But for a little tiny mill like this, lathe like this is fantastic. This is my first time cutting good steel too. And my understanding is 1045 isn't the easiest thing to cut. My chips aren't the best in the world, but it's cutting really efficiently, so I'm going to go with that. I did find a good speed and feed to get good chips, but it doesn't take enough off to try to hog through all this material, so we're going to go with this. All right, I got her turned down. That took a month of Sundays. It's a good snug fit in there. So now I can turn this outside edge down, and I decided to go to 1.5 inches. Inch just looked awful small, so I'm going to try going to 1.5 inches on this up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish down to 1.5 inches here, go a little farther than I need to, and then what I'll do is I'll saw cut it off, then I'll flip it around and face the end off, and get everything looking nice, get it polished up. I am so pleased. It's amazing what real steel looks like in the mill or in the lathe compared to just old mild steel from, the hardware store. I really can't say enough about this steel. I've never had anything this nice to work with, and this has been fantastic. It just beats the daylights out of mild steel. I really want to get my hands on some 12L14 or something like that. I've heard really good things about that steel as well. It does bird nest up pretty good when I'm trying to hog it off. I did find that I could find some better feeds and speeds. Right here I've got it down to 1.8, so I got a little ways to go. But yeah, I was turning the lathe to about 1150, I think, and it seemed to be turning well, and I was taking 10 thousandths step to cut, which is 20 thousandths off the diameter. But if I backed it down a little bit, I could get a really good finish on it, take a little bit less depth to cut, and it was a good clean finish at that point. But yeah, I'm getting it on down to 1.5 at this point. Really excited about how this little lathe is done on this hard material. So I'm just trying to get an eyeball there on the lathe tool, how it's going to fit in there, but it's turned out really well so far. So I'll get on over here and get it hacked off with the bandsaw there. And it had a really terrible crooked cut, but actually that worked out really well for me when I went to mill the 10-degree angle on the fly cutter, as you'll see here coming up. So this is one of many side projects for this to get to make this project happen. I didn't have a V-block, and there was no way I was going to hold that round part in the mill to get that 10-degree angle on the fly cutter. So I'm over here cutting down a block of aluminum so I can make a V-block to be able to hold the part in the mill to be able to get the face on the fly cutter. So yeah, this is just the first. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the block over here and get all the sides faced off on it, get it squared up nice, and get it ready to go. I'll be cutting the 45-degree angle in it, basically just to give me the V in it so that I can support the round stock with 3 points of contact on it. So I'll spare you the gory details here. I'll speed this up here, but basically I'm just facing it off on all sides, and then I'll start cutting the V into it. This is an end mill out of one of those cheap Harbor Freight kits, and They're okay, but they sure don't last long. This one's already starting to wear out pretty good, and I'm having to make multiple passes over it to get finished up to get the ridges out of it because it's not really cut into dimension. So it's a little bit of a struggle here, but I get it faced off. So here I've used basically the 45-degree piece off of a little square. And what I'm doing here is I've got it centered up. I made a center mark on here. And sorry that you can't see it from the other side. The arm that I have is between my milling machine and my lathe. And I set it up the opposite direction like a moron. So you can't see it while I'm doing it, and I'll show you some video of it here in a minute. But basically what I did is I set it up to 45 degrees, and then what I was doing is I would go down 10 thousandths and in 10 thousandths at the same every time. So down 10 more, in 10 more, down 10 more, in 10 more, and it gave me a nice 45 across the center of it. So here I'm basically showing you what I was talking about. See, I'm bringing the Z-axis down 10, and then I'll bring the X-axis over 10. And I'm just doing that each time all the way down until I get the V that I want. So here she is finished up. The finish looks really good on it. I know this is not precision ground or anything like that, but it's going to work really well for what I'm doing with it, and I think it'll serve my purposes. It'll definitely hold that piece in there. Notice how the camera's doing this really cool pan move? Yeah, no, that wasn't intentional. That's the arm slipping. So let's just see how far it goes. But anyway, this is side project number 2. I ran over to Hobby Lobby. I've been needing a cover for my reference stone, and I also needed a cover for the table on my mill. So what I did is, I was getting a lot of stuff on the table and scared I was going to drop stuff on it. So I went ahead and ran over to Hobby Lobby and bought me a bolt of leather. And so what I'm doing here is side project number 2. I'm going to go ahead and make a cover for this stone and go ahead and make a cover for my table. And then I'll go ahead and move along with the project. But I figured, hey, I'll just throw this in here. If you want a simple and easy way to make a cover for your stone, this is pretty simple what I came up with. So maybe it'll give you an idea how to do your own. So what I did here is I just measured the sides of the stone, and I'm going to cut the leather where it sticks out the same length as the sides of the stone, how tall it is. And then I'll just use a leather punch tool and put holes in it, and then I'm just going to use leather cord to basically stitch it together. I think I came in 3/16 of an inch from the edges, and then I spaced the holes a 1/2 inch apart. And it works out really good. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it definitely works, and it protects my stone now. Oh, and I finally got the camera to sit still and stop pointing at the floor again. Well, I'm no leatherologist, but I think that turned out pretty good. It'll definitely keep the stone protected when it's sitting in the shop, and it'll keep, dust and debris off of it, and, keep me from setting McDonald's coffee cups and things like that on it. So I think that's pretty good. For $18 worth of leather and a few bucks and some other pieces, I think it's great. This is what got the whole thing started. I've been laying microfiber cloths over on the table just to kind of protect the table from things falling on it or setting things up on it. And that stuff collects chips like nobody's business. Oh, it's insane. So anyway, that's really what got all this started. And I was like, I am tired of this. I'm going to run down to Hobby Lobby and get me some leather to put on this table and get this straightened out. And I got the idea from Quinn over at Blondie Hacks, and I like the way she did hers. And I kind of wish I had got the smooth leather instead of the suede that I bought, but it seems to work okay. But anyway, my idea originally was I was going to put the leather on there and just leave it there when I'm working. But as I went through, I was like, I'm getting oil on it and everything else. So it's fine to have the metal exposed while I'm working, but when I'm not using the table, I'm going to put the leather on it. So anyway, I just measured everything up here and cut it out and got it laid in there. And I just wanted to get this thing behind me. It was driving me crazy. So anyway, this is basically I'll show you how I laid it out to put it on my table. And what was really weird is I've got the vise set in dead 0 on the center of the table, but yet one side was 11 3/4 and the other side was 12. So I don't know how that happened, but anyway, it works and it laid out pretty good. I'm sorry I took you guys down this rabbit hole, but it was just one of those things I really needed to get done. And, this is early days in the shop, so there are a lot of things I don't have, and I'm going to have to make them as I go, especially to get projects finished. So I've even got another side project coming up in the next video. There was another tool that I needed to get it done. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed following along with me and seeing my progress, and hope to see you back next week. So until then, have a great week, everybody.